up where we left off, let's delve a little deeper into AI's potential as a teaching tool. One area where AI really shines is generating alternative explanations. We all know that not every student grasps a concept in the same way.
Yeah, it's like having a teaching assistant who can instantly come up with different ways to explain something tailored to each student's learning style.
Exactly. AI can also provide personalized feedback on student work.
Okay.
And we're not just talking about simple right or wrong answers. Some platforms analyze student writing for things like argument structure, clarity of ideas, and even creativity.
That's incredible. It goes way beyond what a teacher could realistically do for each individual student. I imagine this is especially helpful for ESL teachers who are working with students from such diverse backgrounds and varying levels of English proficiency.
Absolutely. AI can even assist teachers in assessing more complex projects and simulations.
So instead of relying solely on those multiple choice tests, which often just measure rote memorization, we can start evaluating a student's ability to actually apply their knowledge and think critically in real-world contexts.
Precisely. And here's another really valuable application. AI can analyze student work for patterns of misunderstanding.
Oh, interesting.
This can give teachers these incredible insights into where students are getting stuck and allow them to adjust their instruction accordingly.
So AI isn't just about personalizing learning for students. It can also help teachers become more effective instructors.
Right. But what about students using AI directly? Some might worry that this is just a high-tech way to cheat.
Yeah, I can see how that concern would come up. It's like when calculators first became popular, people worried that students would forget how to do basic math.
Right. Michael Horn addressed this point directly. He acknowledged the risks of students becoming overly reliant on AI or using it to just complete assignments without truly engaging with the material. It's a valid concern, but as with any tool, it's all about finding the right balance. We need to use AI to empower students, not let it become a crutch.
So what does that look like in practice?
No.
How can we encourage students to use AI in a way that actually enhances their learning?
One way is to encourage students to use AI to refine their work, test their ideas, or improve their communication skills. For example, ESL students could use AI to check their grammar and vocabulary or to get feedback on their writing style.
So they're using AI to become better writers, not just to get a better grade.
Exactly. And in an increasingly AI-powered world, it's essential to raise students' expectations for their own work. They need to understand that while AI is a powerful tool, ultimately it's up to them to produce high-quality original work.
It's about teaching them to be critical thinkers and discerning users of technology.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that brings us to a crucial question. How can teachers embrace these advancements, especially if their school isn't exactly on the cutting edge of technology? What resources and support are available?
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the power of blended learning to the exciting and sometimes daunting possibilities of AI in education.
Yeah.
But let's face it, all of this can feel a bit overwhelming, especially if you're a teacher in a school that's not exactly a tech hub. Where do you even begin?
Right.
Luckily, Mike Stewart and Michael Horn had some great advice for teachers who are eager to embrace technology, even without a ton of support.
Yeah, one of the first things Michael emphasized is the importance of finding classrooms that are already using these innovative blended learning models.
So it's about getting out there, visiting those schools, and seeing firsthand what's actually working.
Exactly. It's about expanding your vision of what's possible and seeing how these concepts translate into real-world classrooms.
I like it.
He also encouraged teachers to actively seek out professional development programs that utilize the technology and the approaches that they want to learn.
Don't settle for those generic one-size-fits-all workshops. Find programs that offer hands-on experience and practical strategies you can actually implement in your own classroom.
Right. And finally, and I think this is really crucial, he stressed the importance of online communities and peer support for ESL teachers.
That's where communities like Mike's Home ESL and TEVI FL Lemon really shine. Places where teachers can connect, share their experiences, swap resources, and support each other on this journey of integrating technology into their teaching.
It's a virtual staff room where you can bounce ideas, troubleshoot problems, and get that much-needed boost of encouragement for people who understand the unique challenges of teaching ESL.
It's a powerful reminder that you don't have to go it alone. There's a whole world of passionate educators out there facing similar challenges and discovering innovative solutions. It's inspiring to see how technology can bring teachers together and create these vibrant communities of practice. So as we wrap up this deep dive into technology and ESL education, I'm left with this big thought-provoking question for you. If you could design the ideal ESL classroom, blending the best of human interaction and technology, what would it look like?
Hmm.
What would be the perfect balance? What tools would you use? And most importantly, how would technology help your students thrive?
That's a fantastic question to ponder. It's an invitation to dream big and to start envisioning how technology can help us create these truly transformative learning experiences for our students.
Don't just dream it, build it. Start experimenting. Connect with other passionate teachers and discover the amazing possibilities of this ever-evolving field. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the exciting world of ESL and technology. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in education.
Welcome to ESL Teacher Talk Podcast.
Guys, welcome. The ESL live stream. It's Sunday, 5 p.m. It's not Sunday, sorry, Saturday, 5 p.m. Beijing time. Today, we're going to have an awesome live stream all together. Stu is back. Yeah, we are all back together. Today, we're going to be talking about different strategies for your students to really success in reading. So feel free to leave your questions, say hello in the chat. We're so happy to be back. And for now, what you just saw was the ESL teacher talk where we do live streams, and sometimes you might not have time to watch the live stream. So it's going to have a replay that you're going to see as well on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Beijing time. And it will be also available on Spotify. So you can even have teaching tips on the go. The link is in the description. Stop talking and let's get started. ESL live stream is back. Here we go. Rock and roll. Hello, everyone. The ESL live stream is back, Stu. Yay.
Oh, it's been so long, hasn't it,
Has been
missed you.
so long. Good to see you back. That's awesome to have you with us again. Of course, not on the same timeline, but still good to be together. We can make it anytime.
Yeah. So I'm back in the UK. Mike, you're over in China. So kind of connecting things is a little tricky, but it's possible. We're showing it right now.
Exactly, because you know why? Teachers are magic. Yeah. Can you hear that? Yeah, we're magic. Oh, man. That's true. Thank you, everyone. Hope you guys doing good. Hope you can hear everything that we can say. We are never sure what can happen in here. Thank you, everyone, for saying hello. Today, we're not live on TikTok because I got a little problem. I got banned for TikTok because I was missing a little bit too much. And then, but I'll be back on the 24th. That was just, I'm learning as well with social media, always with TikTok or Douyin. It's always sometimes a deception. There are things you can do, but so you got to be careful. Yeah, so thank you on, oops, I think on Instagram I missed the shot. Man, I was so excited to see Stu back. So that's awesome. On YouTube, Facebook, guys, feel free to leave your questions. If you need help, uh, just let us know. Stu is here. How's everything doing, Stu? There's been a lot of stuff happening in your life these days, right? Just
I've been away for a couple of months.
congratulations.
Basically, my wife's had a baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife's had a baby.
Congratulations, man. A big,
Thank you.
big shout out.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so we've had a baby, and lots of being woken up in the night with nappy changes and all of that stuff. But it's been wonderful. It's been really, really nice. So that's why I've been away. If anyone's been wondering why I vanished, I was having to do dad stuff and getting ready for the birth and everything. But I'm back, and I'm really looking forward to it, Mike. We've got some really big live streams coming up this year. We've got a load of topics that are ready. We've got guests that are ready to come on. So I'm really looking forward to a really big season at the ESL live stream.
Yes, and for everyone on Mike's Home ESL, I've created as well a community for everyone so that you can join, ask your questions. We're going to be sharing some, what is it called? Resources, tech and tools. It's called ESL Teachers Home. This is a community I've been trying to get ready for like a good year. It's always difficult because you're always on the fence. Oh, do I do it or not? Is it good or not? Can I do that? Or, and I asked the community to help with the logo and the name. You choose ESL Teachers Home community. So feel free to join that community. It's really you're the home of the teachers to help you each other. We'll have some lives as well that we do only on this part, only on ESL Teachers Home with workshops, especially with some teachers that you like during our lives, so we can go deeper into their expertise and do that on the ESL Teachers Home, and it's still free, but it's just to get us all together. And you can, even if you're more interested to develop your personal expertise, you will have all the courses available from all the different guests that we have on the ESL live stream. That's about it. A place where everyone can be together and grow together and learn each other, sharing stuff. There's a lot of stuff to see on the ESL Teachers Home, so feel free to join that community because it's free.
I think that's one of the best thing about being a teacher, right? Is and I've discussed this before. When you start out being a teacher, or when I started out being a teacher, the only resources I really had was the other teachers that worked in the office. So I'd come in on my break or between classes. Has anyone got an idea about this? I'm teaching this today. Any ideas, please? Now we're so lucky with the internet and with your community, Mike. People can collaborate together, and we can all together build our network of fellow professionals and just really develop ourselves and our skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really important like to get together, because it's a lot of people ask me, oh, we need this, we need that, sometimes a bit overwhelmed. So like there's a place where not only me but others can help, and so that's also I think it's a great opportunity for other teachers to give, to share, and to be rewarded, because helping others, it's also very rewarding. And there's a leaderboard in this community can gives you that can give you more like perks, more advantages. You can go and do hosting in the community, being a host. So it's just helping each other and giving, a platform for others to grow.
Yeah, lovely. So I've already joined, so I'm really looking forward to being a part of that, and speaking to other teachers and always getting new ideas. So looking forward.
Exactly, because a lot of people always we can't cover everything in one live stream. So if you want to know more, if you want to get more, Q&A takeaways, just feel free to join. And today, we're going to be talking about reading, right? Everybody is here for training. So, Stu, what are the biggest problems that teachers meet with students in reading skills?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem that TEFL teachers have with reading is just really knowing what to do with the text. So, you might be on, like, you've got a text about someone dining on page 19.
Yeah.
And you open the book and you're like, oh, everyone read this. And you don't get the most out of it. But before we go into that, I want to really talk about why reading is essential in language acquisition. You see, we can't produce anything. We can't learn language unless we are receiving language, the receptive skills, what we hear when people talk to us and the language that's going on around us and what we read. And we're not ready to produce any English, to speak English, until we make that step first. So that's why reading is essential, to get in the language, the linguistic resource to be able to later go on and produce language. So reading is essential in your classes, and it's not something that should be skipped or diminished. We really need to really work in good reading practice into our classes. So how can people use reading? Well, first off, it's very different being reading in L1 in our first language and reading in L2. There's lots of really big differences that we'll come on to a little bit later. But how you can do it is what's called before, during, and after strategies. So you've got like different ways. That's it. Before, during, and after. BDA. This is a page from the TEFL Lemon Higher Certificate of TESOL course, which I wrote. So there's activities that you can do with your class before you give out the text. So don't give out the text immediately. You need to do before tasks, before the students even see the text. So let's say you've got that text on page 19 that I've just mentioned. Don't give it out just yet. Wait, hold your horses. You need to do lots of activities to prepare your students to get the most out of the text when they're ready to read it.
Yeah, so this is a part to make things wait for me. You still here, bro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, here what we're looking at is at the lesson 17 of your course, right?
Yeah, so we've this is just basically an introductory page, and then within the course you've got several different ideas about things that you can do before you give out the text. And then you've got a huge section of real activities that you can use in your classes to do during your reading while your students are actually looking at the text. And then you've got another big bank of ideas about what you can do after the text. And by using these BDA strategies, before, during, and after, you can maximize language learning potential with your class. The the students are going to enjoy the text a lot more. They're going to get far more into it. They're going to be more engaged. They're going to remember much more after when they go home. If you're doing the before, during, and after strategy, and it's a huge part in Unit 17 on the receptive skills on our TESOL course.
So it's really interesting. So yes, that's what I wanted to, for maybe for people who don't know, to clarify a little bit, what is this course about, just to present a little bit, because you have a quite awesome course, and I would like to give you a big shout out because you have 3,000 students.
Yeah. 3,031 this morning. Yeah, that's. I want to say thank you to those 3,000 active trainees that we have. They're all learning the TEFL courses, and it's a wonderful course, fully accredited, 180 hours of awesomeness. And by the end of it, you're going to be a much better teacher. You're going to be qualified to go and teach worldwide. It's a good course, and it's got lots of real, it was written by myself. I've got 22 years of classroom experience. I've been there. I've got the t-shirt. I understand what it's like being a teacher. And I've been lucky enough to come across lots of these methods that have been been incorporated into my course, so that teachers who decide to take my TESOL course, they'll be better prepared than if they take another course, and actually be able to use these real practical tips in their classes to teach better classes.
Right. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And yeah, so that's very interesting. That remind me when I started to teach, I jumped from ESL, and then I jumped right away after 20, I would say a good 20 years of experience in ESL teaching. I jumped right away into an international school, and then started to teach ELA. And I was teaching reading and writing. The English part, the grammar part was for another teacher. So I was teaching reading, and I come across a kind of strategies. You had to learn. I had to, update myself, because this is not ESL, obviously. It's English language literacy. So it was like, that's really different from ESL for sure. But I definitely think that there are good stuff to take from it, even for ESL teachers. Like, it doesn't mean to be that difficult, because there are some strategies that might be a little bit difficult for ESL students level when they reach high school, like grade 9 or grade 10. It's quite tough for them to reach that international level. So that makes me remember about the reading process.
Yeah, so you've got, I mean, the people watching this live stream, you might be teaching beginning reading. You might be teaching phonics. You might be teaching
exactly,
Shakespeare. It comes in all different guises, but the basics remain the same. You need to provide texts which are just over the level of your student, just above, not too difficult, not too easy. Be testing your students, but allow them to use their previous knowledge of reading to be able to leapfrog from where they are now to understanding the text that you're giving them. And an example of a before strategy. So let's look at real strategies now that teachers can use in classes to help with reading. So let's say you've got a text about a family that are going on a holiday, and their car has broken down. They've got a flat tire, they've hit a hole in the road, and they're waiting at the side of the road, they're waiting for help. This is what the reading is about. Now, a novice teacher might just hand out the reading, and the students sit down and they start reading about this family that have come into trouble at the side of the road. An experienced teacher will not give out the text yet. They'll do these before activities. So a before activity might be to start talking about holidays, start building the context. Where did you go? You know, what did you enjoy? What food did you eat? Then you can start.
You can even add some videos, maybe.
Absolutely, visual cues, videos,
Sorry.
pictures. No, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's yeah. It's this is what the live's about. You know, just two teachers sharing their knowledge. You know, so.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can then start talking about road trips.
Yeah.
Have you been anywhere in a car? Do you enjoy car journeys? And what you're doing, you're slowly tuning the students' thinking towards being in the car, the feeling of being in the car, looking out the window, talking with the driver, you know. So you're activating this schema, this this knowledge and this experiences, and that will help the reading a bit later on. So you can start brainstorming ideas. Now you're going through the gears, so you can start brainstorming ideas with students. What's good about going on car trips? What kind of problems might you have? And then someone might say the car will break down. Okay, the car will break down. Has anyone ever been in a car that's broken down? And then you can start writing language on the board, developing these ideas, getting students to think together or think together in pairs. This is a good before task. Then you're ready to give out the text. The students are reading about a topic they've just been talking about. They're not going into the reading cold. They're going into the reading warm, and they can get much more meaning from the text. This is a good before activity. Another before activity might be to pre-teach any problematic vocab.
So it's very.
Right? Yeah, go on, Mike. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think there's a kind of it might be a bit lagging, but it's all good for me. What I was thinking is like, before reading is pretty much hooking the students, give good hooks, like try to grab their attentions by using like what we call pre-reading.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like just pre-reading tasks.
And then after that,
by that you're developing, you're getting their attention, you're building the engagement, you're building you're developing their interest in what they're about to read, and they go in with a level of excitement about potentially finding out what's on the page. Another. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was checking after that. What do you get? It's the second part is while reading, right? So the first step, the second step. I'm going to stay on that image right here because it's pretty easier for people to understand.
Yeah, right.
I think,
That's it.
So that we can all see this.
Yeah, and with my course, what it's done, it's full of cartoons. So it's not this boring, dusty 15-year-old dry course. It's full of color, cartoons explaining things. It's really different. It's an awesome course. So during activity, you might have like underline any words that we've brainstormed on the board before. So as the students are reading, they've got a pencil in hand and they're circling different words that you might have before. Right there, emojis. This is a great during task. Honestly, it's like how many teachers do this? They can write an emoji. They can draw an emoji in these sentences and paragraphs as they read how they feel at the time. Maybe they find it funny that the family's got a flat tire, and they can draw a little like laughing emoji. They find it funny. Maybe they find it sad. They do a little teardrop. So this is another example of during reading that they can really get the most out of the text.
That's an awesome activity. Yeah, using emojis, that it's super fast. And because when you're reading, you might have a big thick book, and then you get to read. It's going to take time. You're going to even forget those examples or those little that nourish the reading, those little and then this is really, really awesome. The emojis, using it's easy to draw. Everybody can draw that. That's really cool.
That's it. Yeah. So this is another thing that you can do, like kind of during. You've got your standard like true or false, which they can be working on as they go through the text. You could underline, underline words that the students don't understand. There's tons of stuff that you can do during. Yeah, this is another one. Choose a sentence that has this meaning, or that you find interesting. Choose a sentence where the problem started happening. So there's tons of stuff. Never just go into class. Everybody open your books, please. Turn to page 21, read the text. Don't do that. You've got loads of things that you can do before you open the text. And while they're reading, you've got this fun activities that can kind of challenge and give your learners a richer learning experience.
Yes, that's true. And I got a question to ask you. That's pretty much about what you were just saying. How can teachers encourage students to read, for pleasure versus reading for learning, right? This is one of them, for example, I guess the emojis, right?
Yeah.
So how can they, do you get more tips and tricks like this? It's awesome.
Yeah, sure. I mean, reading in L1 and reading in
Yeah.
L2 is really different. That's the first thing that we need to understand.
Yeah.
By the time you're 5 years old, you've already got at least 5,000 words under your belt. You can if someone reads you, if you're a child and someone reads you a story, you can understand the story. If you look at the picture that accompanies the text, you know most of the vocabulary in that picture, and so it aids your readings. When you're reading for pleasure in another language, it's much more difficult, right? So I think if you're doing that, you need to be reading stuff that you have an interest in. That will help. I don't want to venture too far down that road just yet. While we're still on the BDA, we might lose scent a little bit. There's things that you can do after the reading as well. So you sticking with the BDA, we've got these are more examples of things that you can do during, before, during, and after classes for the pages for my course. Okay, yeah. So give your students the text.
Just let me know.
Yes, yeah. So post reading tasks after reading. This is a great one. Text in a box. So you put vocab items or language chunks on paper. You put it in a box, and then students have to write down what they found interesting, put it in the box, and then later on you can draw the language from the box. So you can use it in different ways. You can use it in communicative activities. You can use it in games. This is the language that they've really felt most fascinated by from the text. Text in the box. So this is another practical activity that you can do, after you've studied my course in your own classes. That's a good one. I've really enjoyed that. And what it does, it gives students autonomy. So let's say you've got 10 students all reading the same text. They've got different interests of what has interested them, which words, which parts of the passage that has interested them the most. And by writing those things down, you're personalizing the learning. you're encouraging students to make their own choices about the vocabulary that they like and that they found fascinating. Writing that down, committing it to paper, you're starting to lock the new vocabulary in your mind from the text by writing it down. They're tearing it out, they're cutting it out, they're walking to the front of the class to put it in the box. They know what they're pulling in the box, they're thinking about the vocabulary again.
Yes.
And you're reinforcing the language from the text by doing these kind of activities. And when it gets drawn out, then you're getting recall and you're getting shared learning experiences. So these are all fantastic ways that you can maximize a text and keep it going. So you've got this really, you've set the context with these before activities. You've got doing the emojis during the reading stage, for example. There's many other during activities that you can do. Then you've got these after ones as well. Brainstorming, you can have students retelling the story to each other. So put them into pairs. Right now, tell the story. Take turns to retell the story. So now you've turned the receptive language that they're reading into production. So now they have to retell it in their own words. What can they remember? What can they recall? Get students to help each other. Maybe a student struggling with a piece of vocabulary, the other student can come in and help. There's so many ways that we can.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Life. Yeah.
Let kids working all together. It's very important because I think that's mostly the problem I can see that when I was teaching in a primary school in China, when you have 55 kids in the class, and then, some of them, they couldn't follow, they couldn't keep up with everyone. And, at the end of the day, they get lost. There's nothing, and they don't have support. So it's good for students to learn each other, to learn how to help each other as well, which is something very important. You can be like learning, you learn well. In China is more of this idea of competition because there are so much students, and I mean very smart students. There's so much talented people in here, so it becomes a competition, and they don't really help each other. They don't really, and it's pretty much like this as well in real life, in social life. They help each other, don't get me wrong, for sure, but when it's in the company, oh man, there are stories, there build up, there are a lot of BS stuff that happening inside, just because they want to get that position, or they want to be better than the other. And
it's a very competitive
there's so much
society,
stuff
isn't it?
Yeah, so it's very important for students to learn how to help each other, and everyone has his own place to do what and how to do it, and then maybe they do it better than the other. So it's, tasks sharing as well is very important.
It's so important. And, Mike, we lived in China for 20 years. We know what it's like teaching in these large classes.
True.
And students can kind of get lost, right? The ones at the back, the ones that
break my heart
have
sometimes.
given up. They really struggle with English. They're seeing the kids at the front interact with the teacher talking, and they go into their shell at the back. It's not fair. So actually, within my course, again, the receptive skills is unit 17. Unit 16 is how to teach large classes, how to make sure that those kids don't fall through the cracks at the back, and ways to work with each other and build community in large classes. But moving back to the reading, things like this can really work on student engagement and student community, where they can be working together. So they can be working independently. You can put them into pairs. You can put them into pairs, and then after a time limit, the pairs change. So one student will go over, and then they recap it again. with each other, just for example. Or you go, right, okay, now change. Now this time, remember all of the verbs that you can remember, just for example. You can then move it into big groups. You've got these different ways and different directions that you can go in with your reading tasks that you can do. Recapping the story, rewriting the story. So you can like change the method of production from speaking into writing. Then you can work on, on spelling, grammar structure, accuracy. There's different directions you can go in with the reading task. Yeah, that's it. So speaking in pairs about the text, where you're changing, you're getting the students to recall the reading, getting them now to produce it, changing that receptive skills into productive skills. It's a really wonderful way, and you've got the resources in your classroom. You've got people there that you can work with. You've got students you can work with. So, and this is a fantastic way, and you can split it. So you can let them read it quickly and then put them into pairs. And then once you feel you've got your ear on everyone talking, it's starting to slow down. You can hear people repeating themselves. Okay, now return to the text. Read it again. This time do this different during activity. So before we did this during task, now do that during task, reading the same text. Okay, now return to your pairs. What more can you say? So you're going from one, it's not linear. You're moving from one thing to another. You can go back again. It's okay. And by doing this, we are using, different methods to really get the most out of any text in your class.
Oh yeah, reading in class it makes me remember my first job. My very first job, I was teaching for. I got to share that because that was something that was back in 2002. My first job was in. I was a teacher in a university, and I had students that was always waiting for me to read all the time, to listen. They were, not active. These kids, they were like 18, 19, and I was 24. So I was like, this isn't right. I was reading instead of them, so they were supposed to read in the class and they were never talking. They were sitting like this doing, just I was the showman. That was it. And they were looking at me and just waiting and when I asked questions, they were like, oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah,
So it was really, yeah. So it was like that. So I had to find something that they like to read, to talk about. And that was, at that time, we didn't have computers, no cell phones. So I was always buying I forgot, 21st Century, this newspaper that might remind you something. I think the name was 21st Century. That was a newspaper. And I would pick an article from these, and then an article that will make them react. That was the perfect time we were talking about mobile phone. And then I would I would let them read, understand, and let them, ask them the new vocabulary. I would go with the new vocabulary. Then they would go back home. And before going back home, the very important part is here. I would divide the class into two teams and say, all right, you're going to be about a topic. So I'm going to say, your team, you're going to be against. And this team, you're going to be agree with the text. So some of the students were, but teacher, I would like to be in the other team. I say, doesn't matter. Try to think about it. You get a week. Try to use arguments. So I had to face reading and speaking in my classroom. That was my big problem. And using these topics, oh man, read topics that most of their teacher wouldn't talk about it. So I just really impact them like right in the face. And then the next day, after a couple of weeks, they were going on talking, and they would love an article. They would read the article. It's just because they have this, this interest that is for sure really important.
That's it.
So that reminds me,
You have to grab interest, right? And I think
exactly.
it's important to say you will never find a text that everybody likes. You've got males, female, boys, girls.
Yeah.
Some people like this, some people like that. You're not going to ever find a perfect text, but you can get clues. You're working with teenagers.
Yeah.
Use things that young people might enjoy reading. If you're working with young children, not kind of like, keep it child friendly. It's all obvious stuff. You're going to get more results. But talking actually about teaching children, I think a lot of what we've been talking about so far might be useful for teachers who have maybe older students who are able to talk about things.
High school.
Teachers watching this right now will be like, well, I teach 7-year-olds. How can they get into pairs and discuss? Well, they can't. So I think it's important that, Michael, that we talk about ways that you can do these strategies, and you can still do before. You can still use pictures as cues. What they're likely to hear. Get the language from them that they. Get an idea of what they can produce. Always use texts that are just above their level. Not too easy, not too hard. And how can you build those skills? Mike, have you ever come across graded readers? Graded reading books? Have you come across those?
No.
You probably have, if I explain what they are. You definitely would have. So basically, graded readers, they're a series of reading books from, let's say, Pearson is a good example of graded readers, publishers, but there are many others. And it might start at level 1, where it's kind of like really often single words. And it might go up to example, to level 30, where they're reading complex, longer passages with detailed vocabulary, detailed grammar, etc. So you give your student a personal assessment. Okay, Wang Hao, read this to me. It's too difficult. So you move down a few levels in the graded reader. It's too easy, move up. So let's say that they're level 8. And there might be 10 books, 10 different stories in the level 8 level. Wang Hao should read at least one every week, if possible 2, and build their skills, build their vocabulary. Each book has different vocabulary to another book, but they've been written by real experts that really know their stuff, and they build on the skills from previous levels. So after Wang Hao has read all of level 8, she's now ready to move on to level 9. And you keep moving up. This is called graded readers. I get you have them, you might have them in your school, right? Do you have them in your school, Michael?
We do have Pearson. Yeah.
That's it. So graded readers, try to get your students onto graded readers. So because no matter where they are, they're able to improve, and you can find tons online. You can, if you're lucky enough, you have the budget, you might have some in school. You might be able to like pinch or borrow some from your other teachers. But get them reading graded readers, and then over time, your students' reading ability will improve and get better. Their knowledge of vocabulary, sentence structure will get more complex as you go through the reading, and they'll be passively learning this. And they'll be reading it. Their reading will improve, but also their writing will improve, like out of nowhere. Like how? It's through the reading. Their speaking will improve through the reading. Their listening will improve because they're reading structures all the time. They're looking at vocabulary all the time. So when they hear things, they're going to understand more through the reading. So get them reading graded readers as well.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Mike, going on with the book, there are a lot of interesting, not the book, sorry, with the course. We're talking about reading, so I'm getting lost right here.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's another thing, right? So you've got lots of students have got their own phones now, right? So what you can do, you can get them to recreate what happened in the reading on a short video. Yeah, and this doesn't have to be 2-minute long videos. It can be very short videos. Let's say you're working with younger students. You can make short video. You can upload it to the school secure portal. Parents can access that if you can pull it onto the parents group or whatever. Teenagers can video themselves, like recreating the language, recreating the story. There, you get 4 chairs. Get 4 chairs, put the 4 chairs together. They're in the car. They're moving along. They're role playing what's happening in the reading. Oh no, we've got a puncture. What are we going to do? Right, you walk to find like there's no signal. You walk to find a phone box. They can recreate what they've done from the reading on video. You can bring classes to life. There's so many directions you can go in anytime you're teaching TEFL. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's really nice actually looking
this,
back. It's really nice
they're
looking
gonna
back
love
at
it. When you start to use
at the course. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, so everyone really gotta try these tips. No, all good. It's a bit lagging, of course, but yeah, no, I love the way to do things. Kids gonna love it because there's the screen generation, and that's a big problem because students today are getting more and more, disengaged into the class because they, all the apps they're watching, it's right away.
Yeah.
They have what they want right away. They don't think. Lots of apps. I'm not gonna give some names because we're on it, but they you got to use it for good. For use it right. I definitely think that these tools are really good as well for kids to learn. They are great tools for learning too, but obviously they want to be more entertained than learning stuff from these apps for sure. So yeah, stuff like that is really awesome. Tips like this, stuff. Tips
so
like that are really great.
A few months ago, we had Michael Horn as a guest on the show, right? And
exactly.
We were saying, will tech mean the end of teachers? And he said, no, it won't. It will be the end of teachers who don't know how to use it. The teachers that understand how to use AI, understand how to use technology in the classroom, they will survive. The teachers who will be, phased out will be the ones who don't really know how to use tech in classes. So it's another important part of the course, how to use tech in classes, how to use video, how to use, like apps, tablets, things like that. Bring it into the class to make your lessons more engaging, and so that and students learn more, you know, vocabulary, more language. Another way to do things, okay, yeah, yeah, so that's an example of a graded reader. You've got there, that's a Pearson title, and it's about a jewel thief. He steals diamonds, and that's one of the pages.
Sorry, I get, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. So he's yeah, newspaper chase, and so there's
Awesome.
a jewel thief
Yeah.
in the story. I got permission from Pearson to use this in the course, and you've got the audio in there. You can click the audio button and listen to the story as well. And this is an example of a graded reader, so the students can it's just to teach teachers what graded readers are, why they're useful, why we definitely should be using them in our classes to develop reading skills. Yeah, that's it. And there are plenty of free ones on the internet. There's paid ones obviously, but there's plenty of free ones as well. That's it. So if you're taking my course, you can click that yellow audio button at the bottom and listen to the story online as well. Yeah, graded readers provide excellent reading practice for students, which in turn aids in skills acquisition for other macro skills, as well as vocabulary and grammatical awareness. So yeah, the macro skills, listening, reading, speaking, writing, through reading, you're developing the other three skills. You're able to speak better. You're able to produce more language. You can understand more of what you hear. And you're able to write in more accurate sentences with richer language, with richer vocabulary. Yeah, that's it. So I think from this live stream, if we can say anything, is to bring more reading into your classes. Don't think that the aim is just to do speaking. Build a well-rounded student. And there'll always be reading passages in your textbooks, and it's for good reason. But by doing some of these BDA strategies, you'll be able to get more out of those texts, and they shouldn't bore students. They should excite students.
So feel free to join TEFL Lemon courses. That's really awesome. We can learn a lot all together. TEFL Lemon courses. It's 180-hour higher certificate. Higher mean it's level 4. So it's level 4, like you always tell me that level 6 would be, you get the link into the chat. A level 6 would be a bachelor degree, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's
now it's a level 4.
Course.
So a level 4, it's almost a bachelor degree.
Yeah, it's one below an associate degree. Yeah, associate degree is level 5. It's just below an associate degree. It's a full, like the international standard is 120-hour level 3. The TEFL Lemon Higher Certificate of TESOL is level 4, 180 hours. So your CV is going to look better. You're going to know more stuff. You're going to know more stuff than your colleagues. And you're also going to have all of these real tips, real activities under your belt. And when you go into the classroom, you can do these BDA strategies. You know about it. You've learned it. Potentially your colleagues won't know. And I think, Mike, with the that QR code that you just put up there, you get 30% off the cost of the course, which is actually more than it's the biggest in the world, actually. Yeah, followers of the live stream. Yeah, sweet saving.
Yeah, I heard. I miss up with some question. I missed some question on Instagram because Instagram interface is really retarded in here to see all the message. That's really difficult. Yeah, we had a question from Jolie, and she was asking if reading is about Olympic, what kind of video they can film when we were talking about videos.
So yeah,
That's a
so
funny one.
that's it. So
What question we have?
you can
What
do
kind of
short,
activities
short.
students can do? Yeah, okay.
That's it. So yeah,
Come on, go
let
on,
me
bro.
just quickly recap there about the video. You could short clips. It could be 5-second videos, short videos producing 1 or 2 sentences. It doesn't have to be this big Hollywood production on your phone. It can be fun short skits that the students can share. You know, if you've got like safeguarding concerns, you can delete them straight away afterwards. It just makes
Yeah,
things fun and then bring it to life. You know. Cool. Any other questions, Mike? Do you have any
exactly.
other?
The other day I did a project like this for my French class. That was good. No more questions. No, I was just saying the project. I did a video project for my French students as well. They were super engaged into it. They were really
Yeah.
interesting in it. It was like to make a trailer from their favorite French movies so they can remake the
Yeah.
trailers of their own. Of course, speaking in French, adding captions and all stuff. And it was awesome. They loved it. They get engaged. They were speaking. They were acting, and I might display this on ESL Teachers Home. So feel free to join the community because their live replay will be there as well. If you get questions, if you're watching the live like in a replay, but you have questions that you really want us to answer, feel free to go to ESL Teachers Home. Is going to be there too. And there's also another YouTube channel called the ESL live stream that I opened a long time ago for people who couldn't see the lives. It's still the live replays. It's still there. So the ESL live stream channel, when you can search on YouTube, you'll find it. And you will also have ESL Teacher Talk, where it's a podcast. It will be there too. But frankly, if you want to be, up to date with Tefl Lemon, Mike's Home ESL, just join the community, and that will be really awesome to be all together there, make it grow, and have a lot of workshops, getting into more detailed tips and tricks like we had today with Stu. Thank you so much, Stu, for being back in the house. Uh, wish you all the best. Can you hear me?
I've missed it. I've really missed it. Being here, working with you. Yeah, we're a team, Mike. We're a team. We're not meant to be apart. So I'm really looking forward to this season. We're going to cover so many topics, and the
We do.
community
We
as
are.
well. Let us know in the community what topics you want to hear. What do you want us to cover? And we can do that for you. So just fire over a message. Just tell us what you want, and we can do that for you.
Exactly. That's we are here to help you because we know both me and Stu, we left our country. We stayed in a country in China for a good 20 years. And believe me, we felt many times, we felt very, very lonely. And that's why Mike's Home ESL and Tefl Lemon has been on the top of the ESL industry, we can say, in China. I mean, a lot of people know us in China for sure, trying to help everyone, and that's all about it. So the link into is in the description. Feel free to join. You'll find Stu there. You'll find Teacher William. You will find very soon even Michael B. Horn might be coming do some workshops too. We're going to try to, for people who are really interested in career development with us, you can only go faster than others for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
I know Stu is a little bit laggy today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all right. It's
Thank you,
part
Stu.
of the fun.
Time to say goodbye to everyone. Wish you all the best. Have a good Sunday. Best wishes to your family. Congratulations again for being a father. Congratulations to your wife, and best wishes to your lovely baby. That's awesome. That's beautiful. A newborn baby, and that's the most beautiful gift that a woman can give a man. Awesome. Big shout out to the mom.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
And the baby, of course. And of course, too. Thank you so much for your time. I think it's going to be time for the bib. No?
Oh,
It's time for...
well, don't make him up.
You
Whatever
gotta
you
make
do.
the milk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a father of 4 kids, so I get you.
You've been there.
All right. See you, everyone. Thank you for going. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go on Tefl Lemon, and as well like and subscribe to help more teachers being helped. Of course, when you need that help, you were happy to find Mike's Home ESL Tefl Lemon. So just share our live stream, and that will be awesome. Thank you so much to all of you. Bye, Stu. I know it's a bit laggy. We get a time difference right there, right? Cheers, man. See you. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.